Hey y'all, it's Brandon with Voo Doo Forge, and I have been looking at our fire pit area over the last couple of weeks when I've been mowing and stuff, and it needed a good clean out, dig the fire pit out and whatnot. But while I was looking at it, it really needs some other stuff. We've got some stuff we keep down there that it just kind of lays down there, so I need some racks for like hot dog forks and for fire pokers and for tools we use in the fire. We keep a couple of shovels down there, both for Dutch oven cooking, you moving coals around, and for cleaning it out. So I need some way to get those to where they're not laying down. So I've decided I'm going to do some projects down there. And so before we get started on all the projects, I just kind of want to show you my fire pit and my fire pit area. So let's check that out. This is our fire pit area. It's on the back of our place, and this is one of the first things that I did when we bought the place over 10 years ago, was dig a fire pit and do some work down here. And all of this around us here was manicured lawn, but I was like, I'll let it grow up around the fire pit. There's lots of reasons for letting it grow up around the fire pit. One of the main ones was privacy, but also where we're at, if you just wait, blackberries will start growing. And so we've got a ton of blackberries now. Oh God, they're so good. And they are delicious. This right here was manicured lawn. I just let it go. Those cedar trees weren't here. Hackberries weren't here. There's a big old locust tree back there. That wasn't here. Well, it's not big. It's a little locust tree. But those will eventually give us shade, so we can use this more in the summer during the day, because that's where that locust tree is right there. That's the south side. Our property stops at the fence, but we've got a beautiful view from it, and that's all cattle. There's one house over there across the valley that you can see in the wintertime. And they're doing something over there right now. I don't know what it is. Probably building a house, but nothing right on top of us, so we'll still have this nice view. When you come down here at night, where this is grown up, we don't have a lot of neighbors, but we do have neighbors on both sides, and we can't see their lights. You can't hear anything because all this is grown up, so we love this spot. I just put this cedar pole in. The plan is to use it to mount some things, so some of the stuff that stay down here, fire pokers and hot dog forks and a couple of the shovels that we use to clean out the fire pit, will have a place to hang them. And up top, I'm going to put a lantern hanger so I can stick a lantern up there, and we can have a light when we're doing stuff at night. The fire pit's over a foot deep, and then these rocks came from a buddy of mine's farm. He's got a big old place with several creeks that run through it, and I hauled these rocks in. They were all big when I put them in, but limestone has a tendency to break when you get it too hot, and we've had some big fires in here. I try to keep this thing cleaned out and dug down, but sometimes it gets away from me and gets filled up. But when I dug it, the hill up here sloped down, and so if you were standing up there and might have had a couple too many adult beverages, you had a tendency to lean towards the fire pit. So I dug that out to flatten that spot, and so we'd have somewhere to sit. This is a cedar bench that I built years ago, and one of the things I'm going to be doing is building some more benches. I don't know if I'm going to use cedar or pressure treated. The cedar has lasted really well because it's been out here 11 years. But I got to build a couple more benches. We had, plastic lawn chairs and stuff like that out there, and even some of the old metal ones, but, anything left outside will not last. Right now, all our hot dog and marshmallow forks and stuff are laying over here on our little brick stack, which, you gotta have a brick stack. Do you even own property if you don't have a little brick stack somewhere? Because sometimes you need bricks. I'm also probably going to do something a little different for firewood instead of just those metal fence posts, but I don't know, I hadn't really decided about that. That's my black locust tree I was talking about. My wife doesn't like it because it has the thorns, but if you don't, poke yourself on them. This little weeping willow here is kind of interesting. We had a tornado hit us a few years ago. I made a video about it. I'll put the video up in the thing there. But this is when I cut the tornado took a willow tree out, and I cut it up and brought the wood down here, and one of the logs rooted this tree, so we got a volunteer weeping willow. And of course the cedar trees, or juniper, eastern red cedars, whatever they call them where you're at, but it's red cedar, and I've loved those. You know, that's what woods are to me. Growing up in Wilson County, Tennessee, we're covered up with them. Here's one of our little pecans. We've got 5 of them we planted from seedlings that survived, and maybe one day they'll actually produce pecans. That path right there that we keep mowed goes off towards the chickens and rabbits, and then keep another one up there mowed off, and that goes towards the house. And then over here, this goes to the other edge of our property, right along the property line. Our little trail in curves on purpose so you can come down here, and there's no real light pollution from that side, so it gets totally dark back here. Okay, so that is the fire pit area. Now I will tell you, I've already discovered I'm going to have to move that post because I couldn't get it in quite as deep as I wanted because Middle Tennessee limestone. So I'm going to have to find a better spot to put that post. But some of the projects we're going to have going down there, I'm going to be building a couple of those benches, but I'm going to be adding some hand forged elements to them. I need to make a rack for the hot dog marshmallow forks. I need to make several different hooks for pokers. There's a poker, my big poker down there, I need to work on. I just need to add a hook to it. I've been using it halfway made for a long time now. I've got to make the lantern hook, and then also that pole is so tall, I'm going to have to make a hook to put the lantern on to get the lantern onto the lantern hook. So there's going to be several little projects coming from this, so be looking for those as they're coming up. Y'all behave yourselves.